got the whole thing worked out using the equivalent variables of mathematical calculus and accounting for the sway factor inherent in all tightropes. I think the best way to cross over to the other side is to run quickly and not look down. That way, there's no incentive to fall and break your neck. Mind you, if I don't look down, I won't be able to tell what lies ahead of me, and I may trip over something. So I'll have to look down and take my chances with the rest of them. Right, I've got it sussed. Okay, I count to 3, and run for it. 1, 2. When I was about 7 or 8, I went to see the Moscow State Circus at the Wembley Empire Pool, as it was still known then. There was a clown in it by the name of Oleg Popov, and he did a specialty act on a tightrope. He'd set a pillow on the rope and then lie down on it, pretending it was a hammock. He set it swinging so fast, I thought he would fall off. But he didn't. I saw the show at least 3 times. If he could do it, well, so could I, right? Right, but his rope was only 3 feet off the ground. This is a good 50 or so. Anyway, give it another go. 1, 2. When I was about 10, I went to see the Jerry Cottle Circus. By that age, I was beginning to tire of all those amazing stunts. They made it look so easy. It took all the excitement out of it. The tightrope walkers would go across the wire on bicycles carrying little umbrellas to help them balance. One of them pretended to slip, and my heart nearly jumped out of my mouth. But they were faking it, so I lost interest in the act. Anybody could do that, I thought. Right, but they had a safety net just in case. Anyway, last go of the evening. Deep breath. Ah! What the hell? I'll try again tomorrow!
The fact of the matter is, we want our children to grow tall, but we want some to grow taller than others. Those who cannot pull themselves by their bootstraps have no right to complain, to whine, or to whinge, or to come running to the government for help. There is no safety net in this circus. Your family has come from a pampered generation. Cod liver oil and concentrated orange juice on the steak. Everything served and provided. No questions asked. Well, it's different now. It's sink or swim now. But look at the rewards. Look at what a general or a judge would earn. Isn't that something worth working for?
This is the story was a girl who wanted to go far. She imagined she'd join the circus. Grace was a girl who wanted to fly. She imagined she would walk the high wire.
But Grace fell down.
She hit the town.
There wasn't that to save her.
She was out of money.
And short on luck.
And London isn't the kind of place
To lend a hand to a girl like Grace. This is the story of Grace. She came to London way back when on a train from the north of England.
Drake!
Scram!
Drake! What do we play today?
Piss off, Grace.
Don't you want to play?
Not playing.
Are you playing at war?
But there's the enemy over there.
Where?
Never you mind.
Can I play?
This is serious stuff.
I'll be serious.
You're a girl, piss off.
Where are you going?
Off the edge of the map.
Where is that?
The South Atlantic.
You'll come back with a medal.
Get a good job then, won't I?
We won't ignore a hero.
You hear that, Grace? Sailing across the Silver Sea, that's me.
I'll come too, Drake! I'll come! He's only off to kill some other man. Boring here at home. Let me come too.
Brotherhood, they call it. Then they put on their uniforms and rip the flesh out of each other. I wish you could hear me, but how can you speak to yourself? I have no regrets in my life, but it would have been good to have heard my older voice in my younger years. Back then, all I heard were the voices of liars and fools.
And then he came back from the war with his manly good looks and an anointing on his chest.
She looked up from the ironing board.
Her heart fluttering like a tiny bird as he swept her into his arms. And she thought, this is what I've dreamed of all these years.
Violins!
Rose petals, boxes of chocolates,
A new ironing board!
Huh?
A deep freeze!
Huh?
A dream kitchen!
Etc., etc., etc.
When I get grown, I want to be
Before I got old, I said I'd be...
not a nurse
Wasn't a nurse.
or a waitress.
Didn't want to be waiting.
Not get stuck behind a counter.
Counters were out.
I
wanted
want something high up.
up in the air.
Not high up like a boss or bully.
Or person giving out rules or orders.
Not that sort of high.
Sort of high that makes people smile.
Makes them gasp with amazement.
Give him a laugh.
Make them wonder
How I got there.
how I stayed there.
Top of the world.
Top of the morning.
Top of the tent.
Big top. Join the circus. Me in a tent at the top under the canvas roof. On a wire. A high wire walker.
Without a net.
Walking on a wire in a big tub. Way, way up. On a taut line stretched out.
Tiny toes and tinsel top.
Little figure balanced back straight.
Chin up.
Gliding over space.
And down below the crowd holds onto its breath.
Not a sigh.
Not a sneeze.
Not a crisp packet crinkling.
No net! Nothing but a broken body on the sand, but a thin blue wire beneath my shoes.
Red shoes with sequins.
And I don't fall.
Ever.
Never!
That's what I want to be.
Now then, Grace.
Now then, Grace.
I say,
I say.
I say.
this can't go on.
Pull yourself together.
Shape up.
Seaside, it's such a shame.
Such a carry-on.
Where's your pride?
Where's your self-discipline?
You're a shambles.
You're a sight.
It's so sad.
She's bad.
She must be mad.
Serious problem. Sigh. Very disturbing social jargon. Blah, blah, blah. Inner city blight. Getting worse. Sigh. Of course it's the government. Blur, blur, blur. These types rely on the blah, blah, blah.
Then they turn to us, and our department conjures, etc. All the same, something must be done. Mumble, mutter, sigh. Take this one. Frown, frown. No papers, no documents, won't cooperate. Very heavy sigh. No name, just says she's Grace. Well, Grace, what have you got to say for yourself?
Dreadful shame. Young child, poor parents, and the feather. Won't take advice. Head in the clouds, feet not on the ground, won't see sense. Textbook case quote, leading authority, chapter page, and footnote. Blame the music on myself, cliche, cliche, cliche. Too much freedom. In my day, blather, blather, blather. My advice? Send her to a gabble, gabble, gabble. Quite ironic when you think she's called Grace.
Well, Grace, what have you got to say for yourself?
And here she is, top of the bill, top of the tree. Grace, graceful, gracious,
Walking the wire, never seen nothing like it, have you?
never will. Grace, the last of the tip-top toes on the line.
Can't get a thrill like this from a video machine.
Live thrills and spills.
Haven't I seen you somewhere?
You've got a familiar look.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
I think perhaps,
Maybe we...
might we?
Could we?
Come along, Grace. I've come to help you. Your parents have told me all about you. I'm your friend.
I've come to help you. Can't have you out on the streets all night, can we? I'm your friend.
Who's that?
Where?
There, the one in the coat, the shabby old one.
No one, you're seeing things.
The young one there!
The soul in sight.
In the dress!
In your imagination.
How did it begin, Mrs. Favor?
From her cot.
Caught, eh?
Right from the start.
With her rattle.
Rattle, eh?
Up on her cot, balancing with the rattle.
At such a tender age?
Well, we didn't know how she did it, but do it she did.
She never fell off, not once.
Extraordinary.
Then when she could toddle, she was up on the sideboards giving us heart attacks.
The mantelpiece?
The windowsill.
The wardrobe!
You couldn't let her alone for 5 minutes, or she'd be up on something doing a balancing act.
It's been quite a strain.
Then it was walls and fences,
Garage roofs,
parapets.
bridges,
Never touched her homework.
never normal!
I begged her to go out and vandalize a telephone
Or
box.
slash a few tires.
Go shoplifting.
Anything normal for a girl her age, but she was too good for that. Grace.
Then came last Christmas. That put the lid on it.
Ugh! Don't talk to me about Christmas.
Terrible.
Terrifying.
Tell me.
Chicken on the table.
Crackers ready.
I'm about to say.
Grace!
There's no need to shout, dear.
Grace!
Just about to say it in Kentucky.
Not the Lord's Grace, dear. Our Grace up there.
Now, where?
On the roof.
Oh my God! You get off that roof, young lady, you'll break your
Our
neck!
chicken's getting cold. There'll be such a mess on the pavement if she falls.
Oh, she's got a clean underwear on.
But I didn't go down. I never cared for chicken. It always tasted like fish. I don't mind the taste of fish when it's fish I'm eating, but eating chicken, that taste of fish instead of chicken, confuses me. It's because they feed fish meal to the chickens. That's why they taste so fishy. And it was Christmas, and this was my present to myself. I was going to walk right down the street, on top of it, house to house, all along the ridge of the roofs. What's a gob full of fishy chicken in comparison to that?
That's what happened. Spoiled it completely.
And we missed the royal speech.
Then she fell.
Well...
She did fall.
She landed.
Ah, so she fell. I mean, it's logical. If you landed, you must have fallen. Flew?
Floated.
Floated?
It was a lovely sight. She just drifted down.
Yeah, Yeah, like snow.
Young girls don't drift and float, not unless they're going down an aisle in the front of a net to meet their groom. But even then, it's just a figure of speech, not a fact. Flying is a fiction and should not be encouraged.
But I did. It was the logical thing to do. I'd come to the end of the street, and there was no point in going back the same way. So, down it was. On Christmas Day, I stepped off the roof of number 67 Emerald Avenue and came to land 5 minutes later next to an ornamental pond. Now, if I'd been stuffed full of fishy chicken, I'd have dropped like a lead balloon.
You're right. How could she have?
It must have been the sherry.
So she fell.
She must have.
Whack! Hit the ground?
She should have.
Of course.
They've forgotten. They saw me float, but they forgot.
Young woman, I'm not mad. I'm a sane and normal person. And as such, I recognize that floating is not a quality associated with the human body. But let's just think about gravity. Let's think about Newton getting an apple on his head. Bonk. Ouch. This is what happens when an object travels from point A to point B, where bam, let's think about force, not crash. Or dead bodies cut down from the gallows, scrunch. Let's, think about what happens when you pull the cat off the sofa, twat. Or shove an elderly person off the motorway bridge, splat. That's what happens and you can't change that. Zonk, bad plat. I think about such things all the time. And that's just because that's the way things are. So don't come in here with your airy, floating fantasies, because it won't wash. Look! Did I drift? Did I float? Did I fly? Well, did I?
Like a snowflake.
It's no use. She's completely cuckoo. We'll have to have her put inside for a time.
What do we do before we feed the body? We feed the soul. Tonight's hymn is entitled Grace.
Grace is what the Lord will send to sinners one and all. So come to God and get your grace. He'll help you when you fall.
For Jesus said, where is grace?
I'm here.
Can grace be found in worldly wealth?
I'm here.
Is grace to be sought after in comfortable beds?
I'm here.
Does a full table mean that grace resides there?
Over here.
What is the value of a roof over our head if we do not see grace?
You've got me. I'm over here.
Who are you?
The one you've been looking for, and the soup's out of a packet. What? Tastes like rancid cardboard. What's at the bottom of it? Get better pickings at the back of McDonald's.
Pickets in here.
For Jesus says, where is grace? Can Jesus give us a good hot dinner? No. Can Jesus give us a comfy bed? No. Can Jesus give us a bit in our pockets? No. Can Jesus give us a roof over our heads?
No. Second helping!
Stinking stuff!
Oh, there is!
I'll show you the back of Ritz. Lots of warm scraps there.
Not tonight!
Better than here.
Another time! Grace is what the Lord
wanted it anyway. Never wanted it, you know, but they made me have it. Matter of principle, they said. It was the way we brought you up to think. How much longer do I have to stay here? I'm all right. I'm better now. Better than I was. When can I go home? When is my beloved mother going to come and hold my hands? Did she come here yesterday? I can't remember. I can't even remember her. Sometimes I am grateful for that. But then sometimes...
When I was younger, I knew nothing about life or love. You don't know anything until it's too late. That's where I went wrong, not knowing. My mother tried to help, but she found it difficult to cope with emotions. But I knew what was wrong. I was growing up, if that's wrong. She did love me, but not in the way I needed.
I'm so cold here and I'm so lonely. I'm all right during the days, but at night, sometimes it's so quiet. You can hear someone crying. It could be laughter, but you can't tell in his face after a while.
My baby can't sleep. She cries. I can't stop her. I know it was my fault, but I just can't stop her. Before she died, she looked at me with her large, hard brown eyes, and I knew I didn't want to let her go. But she left me. I suppose that was my punishment. I didn't cry. At least I don't think I did. I don't remember. I don't want to remember. All I remember is a corpse. All I remember are those eyes.
I'm getting out tonight. You coming? I'm going to London. Leeds to London.
Better not. It might not work out.
They'll never find us there. Plenty to do in London.
Perhaps not. Things might turn out badly.
What do you say?
She's dead.
Lots of life in London. Parades, marches, crowds of people with flags and cheering and waving. Grace is a shambles. She staggers and ambles around about London. She's a den of her own at the back of a hoarding, at the back of Tottenham Court Road, where she places the plastic bags, lays out her bundles, looks up at the sky and the stars. Grace is in transit from Soho to Kilburn to Camden, then back into town. She's featured in doorways and porches and alleys, and if you pass her on stairways when you're going up, it's quite likely that she's going down.
Do you remember Grace?
The one who got away?
The one who flew.
She never.
She flew out of the window one night.
Windows got bars on them.
She flew right through them.
That's right. Remember her at school? She never had to catch a bus. She just flew there. She didn't have to open a window or a door. She could just fly through them.
She was an angel with pink socks and a halo.
And pink knickers.
How do you know that?
Saw them when she flew overhead.
She was flying to the moon. She flew there and she took a piece of it and brought it back down here. And that's how we got shoes in the shops. She was all colors of the rainbow.
I miss her.
I loved her.
Lights out! No talking! No dreaming!
Don't stop dreaming about me. I might disappear.
Grace is a picture that's pasted together, all snippings and cuttings.
From magazines, papers, and wrappings.
Stuck this way and that.
If you catch her in motion from Peckham to Chelsea,
She'll show you a snapshot they took.
Years ago. Don't know where, but it's there in a faded old print. There! Me! My first day in London, taking my trap in Trafalgar Square. I paid for a bag of nuts for the pigeons, put them in my hands, and they sat down to eat them. That's when he took my snap. I just arrived. They said there was a parade that day. Some sort of celebration, but I wasn't sure what. London seemed full of lines of people, queues of them, waiting for something.
What's wrong with you? I got off the bus and I lost my bag.
So you've lost your...
Not my card, my money. I've not got a card. I came to London to get a card. You can get cards in Leeds, but you can't claim there, not after a time. That's what they told me. So I got on a train and I got on a bus and I got off the bus and I lost my bag.
What is your...
No address.
You need an address in order to...
That's why I'm here. I was coming coming about the card tomorrow. Tonight, I was getting a roof to stay under, but the money went with the bag, and all I've got is what I'm standing in.
You've come to the wrong.
Well, where is the right
Follow
office?
the instructions.
Where's that?
Follow the map.
How far?
Ask the conductor.
I can't get back on the bus. They'll want the fare, and there's another bus, my bag in it. I told you.
Think of a number.
I can't remember the number. It was red.
That's all for tonight. I can't remember the number. It was red.
But what'll I do tonight? Where will I go tonight?
I've got a home to go to, haven't you?
Well, I can't. No, wait! I know it's late, but...
Plenty of parades in London. Oh, everything, anything you like. Royal jobs, dozens of them. Big weddings in the Abbey, mayor's jobs, old coaches and horses. The big brass and the swords and those bananas on their helmets. Important people from over the seas, waving at us.
All right, keep back, don't shove.
Don't push, hold your horses. Wait your turn.
Take it easy.
You'll get a good view.
What's happening?
What's happening? You don't know, it's the big day.
How big?
Bigger than the last one.
Well, how big was yesterday?
Yesterday? Ha! Yesterday wasn't big at all.
Well, it didn't seem very big at the time.
Yesterday is nothing in comparison with today. Half the coppers in England have been shipping to deal with today.
Army too.
Oh yes, they need the army these days.
What for?
For the big day! Protection of very important personnel.
A film star?
Film stars? Oh, well,
Could be a film star.
could be a film star. Or what's got married to a prince, maybe.
Which one?
How am I supposed to know which prince? Can't keep track of the princes, can I?
Could be a prince though.
Could be a prince. Or the prime minister.
Yeah, could be the one who won the war.
Which war?
How am I supposed to know which war?
Could be the big fat one with the cigar. He won the war.
Here's that.
No, that was the king.
Which king?
The one with the tash.
Here they come.
Which way?
Don't ask us.
Here they are.
Is that it?
All over.
Who are they?
Search me.
Where have they gone?
Home, I suppose. Big banquet.
Which is where I'm headed. Feet up front Italian.
What's on?
Big parade, of course.
Of course, get a better view on the telly.
Of course. You best be off.
Why?
No point sticking around here. There won't be a big day till next week. Besides,
Oh yes.
What?
nasty characters left alone at night, lurking. You best get home.
I haven't...
Haven't got
You
her.
best get one.
I tried to hostel, but I got no money.
You're in a bad way.
Best be off. Just the rubbish left now.
Piece of cake. Don't know what all the fuss was about. You want to know the trick? Fear, terror, the pure gut wrenchers. Don't get me wrong. It's not the drop that bothers me. It's what happens to you when you've been dropped. Whew. Bet you think you're like a squashed tomato on the pavement, don't you? Splat! Wrong! Fact is, you don't die. Take her, for instance. Look what happened to her. What a mess, eh? Give me a squashed gunsy Tom any day. That's why I don't look down these days. Too scared to look at them. All of them. Huddled under the arches in the doorways. Could be me. Could be you. Nasty thought, isn't it? Here goes again. Whee! Amazing what a bit of fear can do to you!
A 23-year-old former psychiatric patient committed suicide last month. She has been evicted and discharged from the hospital under the new community care policy and then evicted under the new DHSS regulations for board and lodgings allowance for the unemployed under 26. After a few days of sleeping rough, she threw herself off the Waterloo Bridge.
Baby's dead.
As the government presses ahead with the closure of 30 hospitals, hostels such as Camden's Arlington House, a down and out, are becoming fast alternative dumping grounds for the mentally financially insecure. At the same time as the closure of the hospitals, the government is building 14 new prisons.
Don't know where to go from here.
No going back now.
It's your fault.
I wasn't in control.
I wanted to fly. You stopped me.
I couldn't find the circus.
I don't want anything to do with you. You're old, you're dirty, and you're a failure. You ended up a heap of old rags with a bag behind a hoarding. I should have waited for Drake.
Drake?
You've forgotten.
He went to war.
Why did you make me leave Leeds and come to London?
You broke out of that place yourself.
You didn't try hard enough.
I didn't understand the forms. They confused me.
Wasted time.
It was better sitting in the park feeding the birds.
Feeding yourself on scraps.
It was better than selling my body on the street.
Living in doorways.
Better than a rat trap I couldn't afford.
Ending up lonely.
Never lonely.
Lonely old tramp of a woman. I wanted a tent with tinsel.
Never lonely.
No one in your life.
Lots. Hundreds of us.
A tall black man with a secret smile didn't fit in. People looked away.
She stood in the streets with lipstick smeared from ear to ear, talked of green fields and revolution. The shopper pretended she wasn't there.
He shambled up to ask for a cigarette. They offered him a burnt-out stub and walked away laughing.
She'd bragged about how she'd been queen of the Holloway jail, but she sat alone.
She smelt whenever she asked for the rotten fruit, so they called her Smelly Chanel.
Two old men pushed a pram along a street each day, filled with their lives. When they died, they were noticed for their absence.
She'd lost the use of her arms, so she pushed her bags with her feet instead.
She shouted at the traffic, spat at the dogs, so they crossed to the other side of the street.
She'd been inside, so they locked her out.
She'd been under treatment, so they shut their doors.
They didn't belong in the area, so they moved on.
He spoke to himself, so no one spoke to him.
He didn't behave like a man, so the men beat him up.
He shunned too dark in a white street, so he was arrested.
Locked up.
Shunned.
Shut away.
Shadow.
A fearful form.
Odd.
Oddity.
To be avoided.
Laughed at.
Spat at.
Jeered at.
Never seen.
See what I mean?
It took me a long time to see them.
You've got your head in the clouds.
Like they were invisible.
You're invisible now.
I was meant to be a shining star. Crowds gaping up at me, face in the magazine's name in the gossip columns. I wonder what Drake would say.
Drake?
Yes, Drake. Boy I grew up with. He's not a deadbeat. He's a hero. He went to fight for his country. He'll have something to show for his life.
Big parade! Big parade!
Somebody say parade?
Go and look at this crowd today.
Nasty looking bunch.
Smelly.
The class of crowd has definitely been getting worse over the years.
We used to have tourists, didn't we?
Oh yes, I used to love the tourists.
Where were they touring from?
Well, you know, Hungary, the USFA, all over. Hey.
But where are they now?
Well, they tour to other countries now. There's gonna be another royal birth next year. So I think they'll start touring here after that.
Solid bunch, this.
Crowd of spongers.
Loafers.
But they don't know why they're here.
After a free something or the other.
Out of trouble.
Oh, here it comes.
Big parade?
There's
Parade?
something happening around the corner.
I don't see anything.
There's something happening down the line.
They're wearing their tiaras and things.
Can't make it out.
Right, we better get this lot under control.
No.
Okay, you lot, we're getting you under control. And just remember there's a stock of tear gas, rubber bullets, in the van around the corner, just in case you're thinking of any funny.
Parade on its way.
There's something going on.
Don't look like royalty to me.
Maybe they're changing their image.
Changing with the time.
Right, that's what royalty does. They keep abreast with the times. First, they used to chop people's heads off. That's normal. And now they shop at M&S like the rest of us.
Huh. You think they shop at M&S?
Huh. Hey, you shop at M&S.
I was 11 years old when I recognized just who holds the power. And ever since then, everything's gone sour. Give us jobs is my cry. If I had kissed them in power, I'd rather die. Ever since out of school, everything seems worse. I'm trying to get a job. But trying to get to the end of the universe. A rough world awaits me, violence and unemployment. If I fall into one of these, for me it might be imprisonment. Life in the 60s, Martin Luther King was killed, certain people their wishes were fulfilled. What are they going to do next? They were already done away with Malcolm X. And worse, the world leaders are doing nuclear arms again. Again! This doesn't stop, the world may end.
Okay, enough of you. Get out of here. Get out!
I've got my white gloves. See? You can see them, can't you? White, bright gloves. Kid they are. Best kid and cut just right. Seamed white gloves, hand-stitched and smooth. Mother of pearl button here and here. Silver white mother of pearl. You like them? Can't see them. Sure you can. Here they are, my white gloves. My shining white gloves. So white. Like my teeth. See? My white teeth. Like the bits around the edges of my eyes. All around the edges. White! Like my gloves. I take them off, I put them on, I take them off, I put them on. The only thing with white gloves is, well, they get dirty. Well, not dirty, but filthy. Get to be not white. Get to be you've got it? Black. Tut, tut, that's bad. Black's for, well, it's not what white's for. White's for happy things like christenings and weddings. Black's for funerals. Black's for bad things and sad things. Black is death. Black is night. Black is ace of spades. Black, black leg, black gold, black blue, black clear, black comedy, black hell, black party, black road, black animal, black ice, black out, black guard, black market, black sheep! Good job I've got my white gloves. When someone tells me things aren't black and white, I choke them. Just a little bit with my white gloves. Just to let them know what it's like to choke on words.
That is definitely not royalty.
That is undignified behavior in public place.
An arrestable offense.
Shall we arrest?
What about this lot? If we make an arrest, we'll have to leave this lot to their own devices. And who knows what will happen then? What if the royalty came around the corner at the same time we let this lot loose?
Well, on the other hand, we can't allow those two with their brand of behavior.
They're taking advantage of the fact we've got our hands tied.
Taking advantage of a free society.
Get back to Russia.
Don't come over here.
Making trouble.
We're a great nation.
God's on our side.
One's great, always great.
We won the war.
Wait.
What?
Hang on. Over there.
Where?
In the distance. Big parade.
Parade. Doesn't look very big to me.
Got a medal.
Yes, quite.
Got a uniform.
Yes, quite.
Drake!
Drake?
Yes, Drake. We grew up together. We played games together. He went off to the South Atlantic, but he wouldn't let me go with him. He'll be ashamed of me now. Look at me, down amongst the deadbeats. Where are your medals, Drake?
Where are they?
My friend fell first. We'd gone out on the Sheffield to give them Dagos a good beating, cheered on by the sun and bare-breasted women at the dockside. Gone to have a high old time on the high seas. Tow the Falklands back to England. Come back for the medals and glory. Rise high in the eyes of our loved ones. My friend fell first, and it happened quickly, too quickly, for me to catch him as he rolled along the deck, like something spat out of the mouth of a circus fire breather. And then me, toppled down and out of the game, out of the big match. I'm back home and not a sight of the Falklands. I still don't know where they are.
Look! There they are! Ooh, the parade!
I thought he was it.
Him? Ew! Look at him!
Come on.
Where are they?
Popular
Who's there?
people. Big names in showbiz. Look at them. All meddled in with the dukes and duchesses, peers of the realm, and ex-bank robbers. I think I see Mick Jagger!
I bet they're on the radio concert.
Big concert to raise big money.
Big money.
Do you hear that? Big money! This royalties and pop stars collecting cash for the deadbeat of the world. And what are you doing? littering up the streets, sponging off the states. What are you fit for?
I wasn't meant to be a part of this.
Oh, you're part of it!
No, I'm not part of it. I'm a hero.
We don't want to see you on the parade. You're not on show today. It's fit bodies and fashion. You keep away from the public gaze, all right?
Off we go.
And just you behave yourselves.
Tear gas round the corner.
They're parading to victory now, but I'm not allowed. You see the medals shining all the way from St. Paul's. Flags and cheering line the streets, but broken bodies and soured minds, they aren't part of the performance.
You're invisible now, Drake.
So am I.
But I'll tell you a secret. Something they don't know.
They think we've got no future.
Tell us we don't exist.
Only see us out the corner of their eyes.
Pretend we're not here.
Well then.
What can they do to us? We don't own anything. We don't have money. We don't have homes. We don't have work.
But they think we're failures.
They think we're inferior.
They don't notice us because they think we don't matter. But one day, they'll look around and they'll realize we outnumber them. On the day when they've nothing more to sell, nothing more to make money out of, there, we'll be saying, you know what to sell things to now. We're all out here on the edges, and now it's our time to make a different world. A world where buying and selling and fighting in wars and dumping people in the rubbish bin is over.
Not so fast! We don't think we run out of things to sell that easily. We'll always have something to sell. Something to make you work for, sweat for, travel each other, and cheat for. And here it is, the last, the biggest sell of the lot, the thing that'll sell and sell and sell.
And what's that?
Death!
That's the one thing you'll never be able to make money out of.
Want to bet? We started off by privatizing the graveyards, haven't we? Well, now you put a price on the thing itself. You see, convince the public they have to buy, and they will buy. That's progress. See? And what would you like to purchase?
Hey, a nice one. A nice comfy one in a hospital bed.
Private insurance?
No.
Sorry, there's no room left in the public wards. You'll have to die at home. It's cheaper.
I don't have a home.
Then we can sell you a heart attack in the gutter. Very cheap.
I've got a bit in the post office.
Then we can do you a slightly better deal. How's a brain tumor on a park bench?
Oh my God! I've got a job. What sort of desk can I have?
What sort of job?
Light industry?
We have a very special offer on industrial accidents this week, thanks to the government's relaxation on safety measures.
I'd like a nice romantic death on a couch with roses all around.
Savings?
State pension.
Sorry, pensions don't buy romance, but we do a good line in hypothermia, especially if you can't afford the heating bill.
I want to die on a holiday.
We can book you a week on the beach at Sellafield.
I want a spectacular death.
We'll arrange for you to be on the high street on a Saturday. There's another juggernaut scheduled to mow down a group boogie.
Something bigger, please. Something epic.
Have you got stocks and shares?
Oh yes, I worked myself my whole life, and I'm a rich woman, and I want a death that shows how important I can the world.
Then invest in nuclear armament. You'll go out with a bang! You don't have to die.
What?
And if you do, you don't have to buy it. You can die in your own time. When you're good and ready.
She must be mad. Something's only worth something if it's for sale.
Yeah. Shh. Trouble here. She doesn't want to buy death.
She's in trouble. Listen, if people stop buying, the whole shop will grind to a halt.
But I want to die in my own time too.
You offered a good roasting on the Service Foundation, free of charge, all paid by the government, and now you come back complaining.
He's right. Why should we want to die just because you start to put a price tag on it and sell it like motor cars or mini skirts?
If buying death is good for everybody else, what makes you think you're so superior?
Yeah, we don't like idealists.
This world is made for realists.
And the reality is, death is now a commodity to be bought and sold for. So make your choice and cough up.
Besides, you don't want to end up like
her pneumonia on a freezing night in December all on her brother's tip? Get a good death now while you can still afford it. Hurry, hurry. Nothing is for free in this world.
There's nothing for free, you see.
All has to be worked for.
Paid for.
Competed for.
Fought for.
Law of the jungle. First come, first serve.
If you got the cash. And if somebody gets in your way.
In with the boot.
In with the elbow.
Out with the tear gas.
Rubber bullets.
Electric shock therapy.
Chemical castration.
Warfare.
So many of them.
More of us, though.
What can we do? We live in the corners hidden.
We wait.
For what?
You look. Watch their faces.
I do look at them. Busy shopping, filling up their faces with food, running after trains, buses, laughing over beer, shouting in gangs. They're
Yes?
dreaming. No nightmares.
What?
They're afraid of what they felt
When
they were children. That's right. They're afraid of what they imagined then, dreamed then.
Such as...
Flying. They all imagine that. But they don't say it or show it now. And if they feel it, they keep it hidden. They're only half of themselves. There's the grown half with the plans and the opinions. Then there's the young half.
Do you like me now?
You don't hate yourself, do you?
I stopped doing that a while back.
Then there's nothing to be afraid of.
Down the street, each evening at 6, comes a couple of people. She's old and carries the plastic bags, and when it's cold winter, her arms go stiff. So she shuffles the bags along the street with her feet. Next to her is a man with a cane. He hobbles alongside her every day, every week, every year, same time. Done up with string and worn-out coats. She talks to herself and people. People smile nervously. She talks to someone else too, but you can't see who it is. She looks up at the sky and waves sometimes.
What's it like up there?
Fine, it's really fine.
What can you see?
There's some terrible things happening. Some dreadful things too. But there's more of us up here these days.
Yes.
Sometimes people stop. They look at the old woman gazing up at someone who isn't there. For a second, they imagine. It's them up there, floating and flying, looking down at the world, at the mess of the world.
We'll all be up here one day, looking down, and we'll look to each other and say,
What will we say?
not sure yet.
Keep going. Don't look down. Holy me. If I don't get that promotion, I will die. Excuse me, get out of the way, can't you bloody foreigners coming here buying up parents. Excuse me. Hey, you, that's my seat. Yes, sir, thank you very much, sir. I'm eternally grateful. Why isn't my dinner ready? Give me a drink quick, come on. Damn the trains, they're always late. Have to do it all myself, no one to help me. It's not right. Should pass a law. Bloody.
This is the story of Grace. Grace came to London way back when on a train from the north of England. This is the story of Grace. Grace fell down and never got up when she caught the train to London. Grace was a girl who wanted to go far. She imagined she'd join the circus. Grace was a girl who wanted to fly. She imagined she would walk the high wire.
But Grace fell down.
When she hit the town,
There wasn't that to save her.
She was out of money.
A short hard luck.
And London is
to lend a hand to a girl like Grace. This is the story of Grace. She came to London